Welcome back to Dining Around. I'm Joel Riddell. I'm here in studio, and I have Jennifer Bogus in studio with me. She is the proprietor of Heilala Vanilla, along with her family. It's a family company located in New Zealand. Jennifer, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joel.
I'm thrilled that you're here because, dining around, it's food, it's wine, it's travel, and we do get to have some moments with spices and some moments with other destinations. But I don't really know a terrible amount about vanilla, and it's such an important thing. Tell me a little bit about vanilla in itself.
So vanilla is a tropical orchid. It grows 20 degrees either side of the equator. So our vanilla plantation is based in Tonga in the South Pacific. And it's an orchid that opens for 4 hours, and it has to be hand-pollinated within those
Hand-pollinated?
Hand-pollinated. So it's a labour of love.
Mm-hmm.
And then 9 months later, you get a vanilla bean, just like a baby. And then 3 months after that, you get a dried, cured vanilla bean.
Okay.
So it's a year from when that flower opens to when you get
So it's a real commitment.
It is a real commitment,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But your vanilla itself, you're from New Zealand and your company is based in New Zealand, but also in Tonga then.
Yes, so we've got the farms in Tonga and our partnership with the community, and then our business, production and exporting all happens from New Zealand.
Okay. All right. So how would you, as a New Zealander and as a New Zealander family, because it's a family business,
yes,
is it not?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. How would you
End
jump
up
into
in Tonga?
this? Well, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, very remote. But my father is really the reason that we're there. He took his boat there. He's a sailor, but he's also a farmer, to Tonga for his 60th birthday. Fell in love with the people. We were all there. And there was a cyclone that went through in 2001, Cyclone Waka, and it destroyed a lot of the island. And he'd become quite attached to the people in the place. And from that, he did a lot of reconstruction work. And the chief of the village said, we've got all this land, we've got young people with no sense of pride or purpose, and we want to create a livelihood and a sustainable business. So after a bit of research, it became vanilla because it's quite remote. So you can't have anything that's perishable. You can't have anything that is heavy. So vanilla fitted perfectly.
Right.
And vanilla had been grown there in the past. So
Well, and your family before was in the dairy business.
Dairy, yes.
So you wouldn't have been able to have dairy cows on Tonga. It would be different.
No, and there's no bees there. So you couldn't have avocados
I never even
or
thought of that.
anything like that. So
Right. And so that's why the
vanilla is hand-pollinated all around the world when it's grown commercially. It originated in Mexico, and there was a bee there, but no bees anywhere else.
Okay. And so what kind of, as it originated in Mexico, so is there a one kind of vanilla, is like the Mexican vanilla, or is there all sorts of kinds?
Yeah, there's 3 kinds of vanilla, bourbon, Tahitian, and the vanilla variety that originated in Mexico. So bourbon vanilla is the one that's grown in Madagascar.
Okay.
And that's the one that we grow in Tonga.
And how difficult was it? I know here in the United States, and I'm sure in New Zealand, I don't know the process, but here in the U.S., if you decide that you want to have a different varietal or a Brunello, or if you want to, something from Montefalco in Italy or what have you, if you want to bring it to the United States, it has to go and quarantine and stuff. It's a very labored and long process. To do this in Tonga, was that part of the discussion of the research?
There was already some vanilla plants there that had been introduced by the missionaries about 80 years ago. And there had been vanilla production in the 80s. So it was, it's been quite a revival for the vanilla industry in Tonga. We started with 45 kilos our first year of production, which I'm not sure what that is in pounds. And then this last
it's about
year...
110, I think.
And this last year we did 5 ton. So
wow.
Now we have our farm and then we have about 30 growers that we work with quite closely. So it's really revived the whole sort of industry in Tonga, and it's been great for the
people.
Economy.
Do you say, when you say growers, do you mean that, you have your own property?
Yes.
And are there other private properties that work along?
So we've installed a lot of confidence to the farmers, so they know that there's going to be somebody there that's going to buy and pay a really good, price for it, and look after them in the long term. Instead, there's been people that have come in for a year, flashed a lot of cash around, and then disappeared and not there next year. So that's not good for the farmers. So we really work with them, and we're there for the long term.
Yeah. Well, and if your family was in the dairy business before, this is not an hour and a half kind of, you don't show up in the dairy business and say, ta-da, I've made billions of bucks and I'm gone. I mean, you really do have to have that stewardship of the land and all of those other things that go along with it. Is that something you think of when you talk about different products you're going to do, or when you talk about the vanilla itself? Do you think of what's going on in the land as well?
Absolutely. And with the community. So that's what's really important to us, because that's how we started. So that's a fundamental part of our business.
All right. So tell me a little bit about, here you are, you're in Tonga and you have your family and you have the vanilla business and you're using the bourbon vanilla, you said.
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a 9-month process and all the rest of it. Now, what happens to the vanilla afterward?
So once a year, because it's an annual harvest, it's a lot like wine, actually. Once the vanilla beans are dried and cured, we pack them up and ship them back to New Zealand. And then we have established there, through quite a bit of R&D, research and development, our vanilla extraction process, because obviously there was nobody doing that in New Zealand. So, we couldn't have anybody to talk to about it. So we worked with our local...
So that's unlike wine then.
Yeah, very unlike wine. But our factory does look a bit like a winemaker. We have stainless steel vats where the vanilla sits in and goes through a 3-month extraction process that we have developed. And then we make vanilla extract, vanilla paste, vanilla syrup, vanilla sugar, and obviously the vanilla beans.
Okay. So those different products that can be... Now, can people come and visit the plantation in Tonga itself?
Yes, and we've built a vanilla tourist centre there, so you can see the history of vanilla, the history of vanilla in Tonga, and then all about Heilala Vanilla.
All right. It sounds wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'm speaking with Jennifer Bogus. She is the proprietor along with her family. It's Heilala Vanilla. Heilala Vanilla is located in New Zealand. It's Heilala. Very important. Heilala Vanilla. You can find Heilala Vanilla throughout the San Francisco Bay Area and across the United States as well. We'll come back with Jennifer and talk a little bit about chefs and preparations and, well, where you can find it. We'll do that just ahead. But before we get talking more with Jennifer Bogus about Heilala Vanilla, why not think about going to visit her? Well, maybe not visiting her, but visiting New Zealand, because Celebrity Cruises has cruises that visit New Zealand, visit Australia, visit Asia as well. There are all sorts of destinations that Celebrity Cruises has for you to explore. So if you visit celebritycruises.com/SF, you can find out more about their destinations. The whole idea, fly over, spend a couple of days in Auckland, hop on board a Celebrity Cruise, and then do a little tour around. Be on the ship, modern luxury, eat some delicious food, see some great shows, get off in Sydney Harbor, or maybe take other cruise destinations as well. So if you want to find out more about the, let's face it, the deals, the promotions, the exciting thing that happens. The trip itself is exciting, but you want to discover, you want to find out more about it in advance, and you want to plan these destinations. You can visit celebritycruises.com/SF and just look down their list of exciting destinations. Auckland, New Zealand, Australia, Asia, and, up and down the coast of the United States as well, all over Europe. Celebrity Cruises has it all covered. They also have Celebrity Choice Air, and they can get you the best deal on airfare as well. And for those very, very, very long flights that happen, and you're going to be excited once you get there. You're going to be relaxing in that modern luxury. You're going to go to a spa and you're going to hang out with friends and life will be brilliant. But all the way there, you might want to think about it in advance to check out their Choice Air with Celebrity Cruises. So that's celebritycruises.com/SF. Call 1-800-CELEBRITY. That's 1-800-CELEBRITY, or check in with your local travel agent because they know a lot of stuff that's going on with Celebrity as well. celebritycruises.com/SF. Ships registry, Malta. Hey, welcome back to Dining Around. I'm Joel Riddell here on Talk 910. For all the information about any of our guests, you can visit talk910.com. You can locate us. You can like us on Facebook. It's a very important thing to like us on Facebook. We like to be liked. I'm here with Jennifer Bogus. She's the proprietor with her family of Heilala Vanilla. She's here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but the company itself is located in New Zealand with a bit of a stopover, or an important stopover, in Tonga. And we're talking a little bit about Heilala Vanilla and about the products and all of the rest of the things that go along with it. I think, Jennifer, I just think it's so exciting to be able to have something like this. It is something that's so... it's different and unusual and unique. I watched a TV program that included a woman talking about peppers and peppers as in the peppercorn, and it's like black gold and all of the things that go along with it. And vanilla is such an important spice. It's such an important product to so many different chefs and people like that.
Correct. But 98% of the world's vanilla that's consumed is actually artificial vanilla, whereas
Really?
Yeah, people see a vanilla custard or a vanilla ice cream, and it's 98% is actually the artificial chemical.
Well, that's an important concept then. I mean, I've seen bottles of red soda on the shelf, and you look at them and you're like, well, it's red soda, it's on the shelf, it must be made from chemicals. But vanilla, I didn't realize there was that significant a portion of it that was fabricated.
Yeah, so we're all about the real deal, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you do taste tests, or have you done that sort of moment in time and you're like, look at us?
Yeah, no, that's a big part of what we do in all our research and development is flavour profiling and taste testing against artificial vanilla and other vanillas from other regions.
Okay.
You know, again, a bit like wine, has different flavours from different regions of the world.
So are there chefs and people who like specific vanillas for specific things then? Have you found that?
So the bourbon vanilla is specifically liked by pastry chefs because it's a real, punchy, smoky, woody kind of flavour.
It's delicious as well. I had it at Waiheke Island Yacht Club the other day, and it was really, really, I didn't have just a piece of vanilla, but I had it along with
You had the parfait, the Heilala Vanilla parfait.
The parfait, and they did a dish with razorback back clams and this beautiful white fish that was line caught, and it was a foam with Heilala Vanilla in the foam. I mean, it was done with savory as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
salmon, it's great with salmon.
So do you work alongside chefs specifically, or do they seek you out? I mean, do you have that conversation that comes up? What should we do with it?
Yes. I mean, obviously our mission is to be a globally recognised premium vanilla brand. So we like to work with all the best chefs and all the best restaurants, hence the Waiheke connection, other connections in the Bay Area, Manresa restaurant, Joanne Ware. But yeah, working with chefs, they come up with all different sorts of applications.
So when you mention the Waiheke is Waiheke Island Yacht Club. That's here in San Francisco. We're broadcasting from the San Francisco Bay Area, but we're also national as well. So if you think nationally, there's Babbo in New York City, there's Dean and DeLuca both in Napa, and Dean and DeLuca in
the East Coast.
In the East Coast in New York. So I'm like pointing toward New York City as well, but globally as well. You have a great guy who has restaurants in London, Peter Gordon, who has Tapa Room in Provadores, in Shoreditch or Barrymone Parkway. There's some like big long. Anyway, it's fantastic. I've been there. It's delicious, wonderful restaurant.
And Peter's actually come to visited us at the plantations
in Tonga.
Yeah. So
well, then
he
supporter. Has the first-hand experience. He knows what that's all about. Do they get excited by it? I mean, is there that moment that you see with the chefs like Joanne Weir, where you're cooking in the city?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think the whole of the sort of the food movement, and we're unique in that we're probably the only vanilla that's actually plantation to pantry. So there's a whole traceability aspect of vanilla. And that's a big part for chefs today, I think, is knowing, the story behind their ingredients. And that's really important to them. So
that is important. The whole farm to table. And the reality is with farm to table, you can't say, if you're thinking of the San Francisco Bay Area, oftentimes chefs like to say, this was picked in my garden, or these are peaches from this peach, or whatever it is, but they want that connection. But you can't do that with vanilla or coffee because you don't own the vanilla plantation. But if you know somebody who does, or if you have that connection, you can be proud of it because we use things like that.
And vanilla can't be grown in the States, or it can't be grown in Australia or New Zealand or Japan, some of those markets we're in. So it is, unique because it's plantation to pantry. We are the growers and the makers of, and all we do is vanilla.
Do you smell like vanilla all the time?
Well, some people say that, but I'm immune to it.
All right. So when you get it, I asked you this before about coming to New Zealand, bringing the vanilla to New Zealand, and you said you make products. What were the products again that you make?
So vanilla extract is our foundation product, and then from that vanilla paste, which is a great product. It's 1 teaspoon is 1 vanilla bean. It's got the seeds in it, saves all that hassles of splitting and scraping of beans. So you just pop a teaspoon into a jar, and that's what they're using down at Waiheke.
Okay.
And lots of chefs who traditionally use vanilla beans, and they like using the actual ingredient once they've tried our paste, because it is unique. It's won lots of food awards. They're hooked. And then we've got vanilla syrup, vanilla sugar, and we've also just developed a ground vanilla powder. So, there's quite a few things you can do with vanilla.
just the one bud, but all sorts of other things go along with it. So are there new developments in the vanilla business other than the products?
We've always got things in the pipeline because we also sell to food manufacturers, so ice cream, yogurt, cakes, biscuits, cookies, you call them here. So we are working on a product that's going to have, a great application for that food manufacturing industry.
And off of the vanilla topic, though, is your family involved at all in a beer company? Is this...
My brother is.
Really?
Yeah. Moa Beer. You had him in here a few weeks ago, I think.
So you're oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you know that?
I didn't. Somebody made a comment at Wahiki, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? So your family really does branch out. I mean, from the dairy business to the vanilla business to beer.
Yeah.
Wine? No wine yet?
No wine, no, but we've had vodka in the family as well.
You have vodka?
So, we used to. Before beer.
Okay. I think you're
42 Below.
Oh.
Yeah. So Jeff was involved with 42 Below, and then now he's doing Moa Beer.
Well, I think that's a great connection. Any family who has beer and vodka and vanilla and all sorts of food things, dairy, why not? All those things together. All right. So we should look for your products, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody across the Bay Area should look, and the United States should look for the products. It is Heilala Vanilla. And it's Heilala, heilalavanilla.com. And you're available.
We're available quite a few places: Whole Foods, Northern California, Oliver's Markets, Drager's, Molly Stone's, New Leaf Community Markets, Bristol Farms. I've got one here in San Francisco, and quite a few places online. And also our online shop's going to be up in a couple of weeks. Heilalavanilla.com.
Heilalavanilla.com and Food 52 as well, which is a really important website for. It's such a significant website for anybody across the nation. I think it's very important because you can find things on Food 52 that you don't normally find in a store wherever you are. So you can order at any rural